So today is day 59 on my 100-day YouTube journey. So that means I have 41 days to show up here and have conversations with you. So I just wanted to talk to you briefly for a moment. And I don't even know if the algorithm is going to show you this video just because of the type of conversation it's going to be. So if you're seeing this video, if you're watching right now, go ahead and give this video a like. And more importantly, if you've watched any of my other videos on this journey, I want you to leave a comment for me to answer one of the questions that I'm going to ask you in this video. And if this is your first time watching, I have linked the playlist to the 100 days down in the description box. So check those out and then come back and leave an answer to the question for me. So what I want to talk to you about today is because I've been really thinking, not thinking too much, not over analyzing, but I've been thinking about the conversations that I've been having over these last now 58 days, because today is 59. And I want to have these conversations. I want to make sure that these conversations are really landing with you, offering you some type of value. If they resonate with you, maybe you can see yourself in my experience, or I'm giving you language to something you may have experienced or you're currently experiencing that you may not have language for before. And as I was looking over the last 58 days in the videos that resonated most, like maybe had the most views, or even if they didn't have like the most views, like they had comments and women commenting about feeling seen or sharing their experience. And those videos I did 2 videos about being the eldest daughter and what comes along with that, my experience with that. And then I kind of did like a little bit of a follow-up because I had like some good news to share about a moment I had with one of my siblings, being the eldest daughter. My video about just outgrowing your old life and the things that you may have wanted or even worked hard for previously, but now in whatever season you might be in, that just doesn't feel aligned for you anymore. My video on showing up without motivation, that was day 48. That was the day. And I'm not gonna lie, like that surprised me. Like to this day, like that video is still getting views. And it's like, if you watch video for day 48, the video title, like I think it's like, this is what showing up without motivation looks like. I was wiped out. Like I was tired. I didn't know how I was gonna keep going. Like showing up on YouTube every day requires a lot of effort. And I had on my ugly house sweater. I had on my glasses and I was just talking like, y'all, I'm wore out. So that resonated with you all. The videos that I talked about hobbies. Well, of course, I don't call them hobbies. I call them creative rest practices. That resonated with women. Women commented on my video about how I gave up my dream closet and the reasons why, and just how that life just no longer fit the woman that I'm currently embodying. And then the video about Japanese habits, that's like my most viewed video. And that was a video where I just talked about my observations around a video that I had watched that just really resonated with me. And it seems like the videos where I'm just like talking about things that other people might be thinking or might not be saying out loud are the videos that seem to be connecting more, which is why I want to, again, just have this casual conversation with you. Because when I think about those conversations from the videos that I just listed, the things that come back to me are the topics. They're embedded in those conversations are the topics that is why I'm showing up, like about sustainable ambition, or what I like to call easeful ambition. And not because we're looking for an easy life, or we want things that require no effort. Like my definition of ease is just moving in a state of flow, like going after your goals, your vision, the things that you desire in your life from a state of flow and not force and not push through, and not everything has to be hard. The topic around rest, and like really understanding the 7 types of rest and what that might be able to look like in your life, and looking at rest from a holistic standpoint versus just seeing rest as one dimensional and physical rest around capacity. And, when I talk about capacity, I'm not just talking about how much work you can take on, or how many teams you can lead, or how much business you can grow, or how much revenue you can bring in, but really thinking to yourself, does this thing should I give this thing access to this type of energy and time for me? Like really thinking about, does this project, does this initiative, does this community event, whatever that thing may be in your life, like really understanding your capacity around it and asking, does this thing require this level of access? Should I give this thing this level of access to my time and energy? And really thinking about capacity from that level. Of course, creativity. And I mean, just being in a mindset of where you're curious about things, that you're finding moments of play and imagination and wonder and doing creative things, whatever that may look like for you. It could be you played an instrument in high school that you used to enjoy, maybe pulling out that old instrument, or finding, I like to paint. I like to do pottery. I like to do so many things, cross stitching, my grandma hobby of cross stitching. I've done jewelry making. I like to explore my creativity, making mocktails at home because I don't drink alcohol. Just getting creative with that. The topic that I like to talk about around identity shifts, because again, for ambitious women like us who are driven, oftentimes our identity is so heavily rooted in what we do. And just becoming aware of that and being able to remove your identity from what you do, because then it tends to, I know for me, during that season of my life, it almost correlated to my worth. Like, because you have this certain job or your certain title, it made you worthy, which the opposite of that would mean if you don't have this type of job or career, then you're not worthy. And of course, that's not true, but just really exploring identity, and on top of identity, embodiment, because we can have these habits, we can have these practices, we can have all the things, but if we're not truly moving towards a direction of embodiment, meaning these habits, these practices are just who you are now, then they just remain habits. They haven't truly integrated to embodiment and who you are. And then the topics around how you're actually living your lives, like your work, your career, your life, versus how we were taught to be or what we thought we should be. Like really digging into those conversations. And I've had those conversations over these last 58 days too. And like, again, just unraveling some of those beliefs we have and really truly being confident in how we desire to live our lives, and then making bold decisions to continue to move forward. But I also, in keeping all of those things in mind, I don't just want to talk at you or talk about the things, because I told you, some topics I have planned, just sharing my lived experiences, lessons that I've learned. And then some topics I just let life happen. And like yesterday, me being at the hair salon and just sharing like how that ties into, can tie into performative self-care. So some topics I just kind of let life happen and let God give me, divine downloads. But I am curious about videos that have resonated with you. So again, if you've been here over these last 58 days, leave me a comment. I want to know what has been resonating with you so far. If it's a certain video that has resonated with you or a certain topic that, that I just listed. What are some conversation that has made you pause and think a little bit differently? Is there something that you've been thinking about that you haven't heard me talk about around ambition, identity, creativity, capacity, rest, any of that? It could be anything, any of those things that I mentioned, even something that you might be currently navigating that you might not be able to put into words quite yet. And if there's anything you've been feeling something, but again, you might not have the language for it, let me know that in the comments too. Again, because I want to have conversations in those categories that truly resonate with the woman who can identify with some of the lived experiences that I have had and I've made it to the other side of. And just have conversations that you want to hear about, because I know a lot of us are in between spaces. We're in the middle. Again, if you've been here with me, you know that I was in a corporate leadership role, burnt out from that, took nearly a 1-year sabbatical off to really heal and get clear. I'm back in corporate America, navigating a traditional 9-to-5, building a business. I wrote a book last year. So a lot of us are in this middle space where we're evaluating things, again, that we've been told or we've been taught. And I understand that space. And some of us are thinking about the things that we used to do or the way we used to live. We just don't want to do that no more. Even us being ambitious and driven, again, and it's not about because you'll always be ambitious. I'm always be ambitious, but it's about looking at that differently, reworking your relationship with that, prioritizing your health and wellness first. And I want to continue to have those conversations where we're trying to figure out what comes next for us and how we step into the lives that we truly desire without burning ourselves out, without falling back into misalignment, without being in a stage of chronic exhaustion. So I want your feedback. I want to know what things that you might want to hear more from me about. So again, like I said, I don't know if the algorithm is going to show you this video. So if you're watching, please give it a like and share some of your feedback down in the comments. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't think this is a long video. I just wanted to kind of check in, see what conversations resonated, see what made you pause and think a little bit. Again, I know some of the women who watch my videos have been commenting and have been sharing what resonates with them. Some women have even said, oh, this is what this was. Now I have language for it, because like I said, today is day 49. So that means I have 41 more days to go. So let me know what you want to talk about. And I will say tomorrow is going to be day 60. And I finally feel like this feels easeful for me. And I think what's helping me too is that I'm not obsessing over the topics. I'm just really noticing what's happening in my life, what's happening around me, what conversations that I have with other women, thinking about lessons that I've learned, that I'm continuing to learn, thoughts that just come up, things that I'm curious about. So we'll keep figuring it out together. So let me know down in the comments. I'm Erica Prevail, and I share daily conversations helping ambitious, purpose-led women rework their relationship with ambition, capacity, rest, and creativity. I'll talk to you tomorrow for day 60. Bye.